Yo,
Yo, what's up, brother? How we doing?
how you doing, buddy? Good to
I'm
see
doing great. Good to see you, bro.
you.
You're over there in Nashville, right?
I am here in Nashville, Tennessee. I was just in LA actually. I was in LA for a couple of days with Brett Young and the band and crew doing Rock the Vote. Pepsi's Rock the Vote. Super cool and it'll be on tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys got a show tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Correct.
And it's on Thrill. Can you tell the listeners about Thrill, like how they can find that?
It's on I think it's called Triller.
Okay.
And at Triller, Triller. I always think, well, this is Triller.
That's what I did when I read it automatically. Exactly.
It's on Triller, and it's sponsored by Pepsi, and it is Rock the Vote. And what an important vote to rock. Got to rock this vote.
Absolutely, brother. So talk to me about what's been passing your time. You look great. You look healthy. You're out there in Nashville. You're doing your thing with Brett Young, another great artist such as yourself. What have you been doing on your off time to pass time?
Well, I've just been mostly like creating a lot of music. I'm always working on something or other. Noah Needleman, who is Brett's musical director, he and I have become writing and production partners. So we're always working together on something. I mean, really, honestly, like this whole band and crew has really become my family. So I've been doing so much stuff with them, with everybody. Just a lot of the different musical projects and hangouts and stuff like that. Cooking dinner. I love to cook, and so I make some pretty good food.
What kind of food do you like to cook? What's your thing?
I like I love Italian food. I've always loved making tomato sauce from scratch. So I make pizza and calzones and stuff like that. And then love to do Mexican food. I'm from LA, so I know it well, but mostly most of the cooking that we do at home is either vegan or vegetarian. There's never any. And I've been playing around with some of the Impossible and Beyond products, and they're amazing. The Impossible Burger meat is so good. It's like
Is it
it's
really
very. I
that
mean,
good?
well, when you get it in the thing, it's just so like it's just so much like a burger. I just made like the perfect smash burger with
All
no
right,
meat.
I gotta try that. I'm gonna go out there and get that today. Speaking, you were mentioning of sauce and Italian food over here now.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I'm into Italian food and Italian culture, being that I am Italian. Sopranos, did you finish the whole series?
Yes, I finished the whole Sopranos series.
How
So,
amazing!
bro, it's so good. I can't even. It's just so good. It really was the benchmark for
Did the
sure.
show make you hungry every time you watched it? Because it makes me hungry every time I watch it.
The gabagool.
The gabagool. And I recently had Steven Sharippa, who played Bobby Bacalot on my show recently. He was so great, and he talked about calzones. Oh man, I gotta send you the soundbite of what he did to someone's calzone when he worked
Oh,
at a pizza parlor. I'll just leave it there.
all right. Well, I'll have to listen to that one. But no, I don't ever do anything sinister to the calzone. It's just it's,
Yeah, you can't do anything sinister to the calzone. You can't disrespect the calzone. So another thing, real quick, that I've been doing is meditating. And speaking of Sopranos, I've been meditating with Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher on The Sopranos.
of
Um,
course.
I highly recommend that doing those sessions for anyone out there that's going through a difficult time. We are great over here. We're healthy. We have a lot of
Yeah.
energy, and I like to meditate just to focus on what my goals are.
Mm.
Have you ever meditated before?
I've done a lot of meditation and did a lot of yoga years and years ago. It's been a while since I've done like, classes or worked with an instructor, but yes, I do that kind of stuff a lot. And I'm lucky. I have music like that. Just I go immediately into a deep meditative state and get so many of the benefits of meditation from just playing music.
I know you do, and that's one of the reasons why I love you so much. I mean, for numerous reasons, and also, I mean, you're soulful with your playing, and that's something I love so much. It's reminiscent of my father, who was a jazz and blues player. What I'd like to do with you today is something a little different than we did the last time. Is maybe have you perform one to two or three songs, however many you want, and you could break down the whole story leading into the song, how you wrote it, and then we could analyze it afterwards if you're down with that.
Sure, absolutely. If you want to, let's do. Let's start with 1, 2, 3, go, because I've been kind of kicking off my sets with that, whether it's a few songs or a whole set. And part of it is the sentiment in the title of the song itself, 1, 2, 3, go. I wrote it a few years ago. I had just come back from tour, and it was a long tour, and I was kind of tired and worn down from it. And I had just gotten home, and I started just writing and improvising, just started playing with my guitar and coming up with gibberish melodies. And I'll be just like that, and then figuring out and recording it on my phone and starting to feel like, then I get that, when I get back home and back to life, 1, 2, 3, go, and I was like, all right. And listening back to the gibberish version and decoding it and finding out kind of what I'm trying to say to myself. So should we figure it out together? We can, the way that I understand this
I'll be listening.
The way that I understand the song is really just the idea that we can truly anticipate anything with absolute certainty is an illusion. You know what I mean? We do not know what's going to happen. The truth is, all we have is the present moment. It's everything is 1, 2, 3, go. You better be ready because it's happening whether you're ready or not. And that can be something that's really joyous, I love it if you embrace it, and I find that that's true of most anything. When you embrace it, you start to see the elements that you were missing before. It's like adding sweetness to something. You go, all of a sudden you go, bacon is a dessert. Yes, if you look at that framed that way from your point of view, you know what I mean? Like, that's you can bring out the sweetness in something. You can bring out the joy in something that would otherwise be considered to be more on the challenging side of that spectrum. All right, I'm going to turn on my reverb. Listen to this. Hello.
Wow. Yeah. Little Darth Vader-ish. I like it.
How's it sound, by the way?
Sound good. Sound great.
When I walk these streets, I feel a certain passion. When you're there with me, we start a chain reaction and fall again. Fall again. I'm off my feet, I'm swept away, I'm stranded. Got my heart tethered, disbelief abandoned the hard way. I learned that hard way. You built a castle out of sticks and bones. Here we go. When I get back home, it's back to life. 1, 2, 3, go. After the months of sacrifice, where did they go? Time to stop and feel alive. What do we know? Who I know a feeling when it's right. 1, 2, 3, go. Out here alone, remember independence. We're gonna bring it all back home and feel that confidence. I love that confidence. Thinking in circles keeps my mind well-rounded. Searching for subjects just to stay confounded and trying things. I'm always trying things. You built a castle out of sticks and bones. Well, here we go. When I get back home, it's back to life. 1, 2, 3, go. After the months of sacrifice, where did they go? Take time to stop and feel alive. What do we know? Who I know a feeling when it's right. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go, go, go. 1, 2, 3, go. And then we finally get to start again. to start. Here we go. When I get back home, it's back to life. 1, 2, 3, go. After the months of sacrifice, where did they go? Take time to stop and feel alive. What do we know? I know I'm feeling when it's right. 1, 2, 3, go. When I get back home, it's back to life. 1, 2, 3, go. After the months of sacrifice, where did they go? Take time to stop and feel alive. What do we know? I know I'm feeling when it's right. Say it up. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Go, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah, buddy. You know, I'll let you put your headset back on so you can hear everything. But I want to say this: like 1, 2, 3, go. I understand. But what I take away from this as a musician and also a radio personality or anything you do in life, when you have to do something, you know, your stepdad Eric Roberts knows about this. Your mother knows about this, Eliza. When it's time to go, 1, 2, 3, go, brother.
And my dad, Jimmy Simons, is an amazing television producer. He produced Malcolm in the Middle and a lot of other killer.
Oh, wow.
And he was in what turned out to be semi-retirement, but he has stepped out because 1, 2, 3, go. They want him to produce the new Kristen Bell show for Netflix. So we're all really excited. He's like, let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go. Let's do it. And that's great. Congratulations. Congratulations to him and your father, you know, that's an amazing opportunity.
Oh, dude, that's my dad has been doing it for so long that he's definitely turned down more offers than he's been able to.
Good position to be in. So here's what's up. What I take away rhythmically from that song, I love how upbeat it is, right? Yeah. And I hear a lot of blues and you know, just a whole lot of spirit in that song. Can you tell me about the process of writing that rhythm, that very upbeat? Like, where was the influence from?
Well, it's a big old open like G shape, and this traditional folky thing of the
very folk, yep.
Which is kind of an extension from bluegrass, actually, you know, and then it ended up being, because those real bluegrass and newgrass musicians now are some of the most technically incredible musicians on earth, like Bela Fleck and all those guys. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
The chords they play are insane. You know,
and the and the speed, it's just crazy, you know. So that is definitely an influence. It was one of the things that I studied when I was in college. Went to college in the Pacific Northwest, so there was tons of cool bluegrass stuff to listen to and people to play with and learn from. Bluegrass Hill at what was the Bumbershoot? What was the one in I always forget. All these shows and festivals run together after a while.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where that I think the riff kind of came first. I like that chugging thing. You know what I mean?
The chugging, the bluegrass, like you were saying. And that's what you put me on a porch somewhere in like the 1930s in like New Orleans, just having fun, maybe having some moonshine if you're into that sort of thing. Like you just took me to that environment of that vibe, that folk vibe, but that very soulful folk, you know, like where it's just very uplifting and there's a lot going on to the rhythm. Because I'm obviously mainly a drummer, so I'm always paying attention to that rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And the rhythm, you know, it actually was there was an odd measure in the riff. Mm-hmm. It was
it's like Rush folk. It's like if Rush was playing some folk music.
That's what it was originally, and they were like, you know, we'll square it out. We'll leave it at that. It's okay. Let people dance and not feel like
it's you know, music is all about feel, right? It's all about how we feel.
Completely. And I've always had a real affinity for odd meter stuff and making it feel natural, not making it feel like you just tacked an extra beat onto or nicked a beat off of the end of your phrase to make it really sound natural so people are dancing to it and they don't even realize that it's a five, you know?
Exactly. Rush was always great at that. Zeppelin had a great meter because John Bonham, he could actually play a different signature, underneath the actual orchestration of the band and still make it sound good. Like, now this is nerd talk, guys. Like, we're going to get deep on some things, but John could play something like the song Kashmir. I'm not even certain that he's an exact time with that band, but somehow he lands on the one and makes it work.
Well,
He's
because if you're
incredible.
playing polyrhythms after a certain number of cycles, you're going to repeat, So if you've got a 3/4, that 3 pattern is going to repeat every 4, and the 4 is going to repeat every 3 because the common denominator is 12.
Exactly. And the thing is that and I'm not good at math, but like, for example, Take 5 by David Brubeck, one of my favorite jazz songs of all time. You could go nuts over that song over 4 measures because eventually you're going to end up at 20,
Right.
and then you're going to end on the even number and you'll be safe.
Right. That's right. Just watch out if you're playing in 3. Because, oh no, I guess after 15 you'll be cool. So that's
Well, maybe get a little dicey around 15. So, do you have another song you want to share with us, buddy?
sure. Let me think. Let me think of.
Yeah.
This is a song that often and over the years when people have asked me like, which song of yours do you really like playing? Like what do you like playing most? What do you connect with the most? This song for me is it just feels so good and so natural. It's another one where I wrote it. I wrote it the same day that I finished Beautiful Pain. And that song I had started months earlier, and then the story needed to play out in real life before I could finish it in the song. So the story had reached its perfect point for the song, and then I wrote this one too because I was also feeling kind of. It's part of it is that frustration that a lot of artists feel when when perhaps you're signed to a record label or you have a team of people who aren't creative. They don't know the process of songwriting or being creative. From their point of view, they just see it as like, give me something I can sell, And for me, it's if I engage on that level, then it becomes a real deterrent for me. You know what I mean? It becomes Sarah Bareilles, I'm not going to write you a love song, And this is kind of my version of that a little bit, I felt like I was being asked to manifest or manufacture inspiration, the kind of inspiration that only comes when you don't try to manipulate and micromanage and control and that kind of stuff. So this song is called Inspiration.
My personal favorite, by the way, guys.
You like this one? Okay. You've left no stone unturned, flipped every leaf and lizard, with your face down in the dirt. You're too blind to be forgiven. Well, the sands of time are soft and fine. They slip right through your fingers. To see you're looking for inspiration, but you don't know where to find it. If you want to find inspiration, let it find you. Feels like you tried everything. The noose is slowly tightening. Newton and his apple, the key on Franklin's kite string. I know you felt this way 1,000 times. the thunder and the lightning. Just say you're looking for inspiration, and you don't know where to find it. If you wanna find inspiration, let it find you. Inspiration strikes at unexpected times. Yeah, yeah. It can come as pleasure or pain. Oh, the minute that it's gone, you want it back again. You need it like the desert craves the rain. Oh, you're looking for inspiration, but you don't know where to find it. If you want to find inspiration, let it find you. Oh, you say you're looking for inspiration, and you don't know where to find it. If you want to find inspiration, let it find you. If you want to find inspiration, let it find you.
Yes, brother. I mean, so many directions I could go here. I love the hook. I love the chorus. It's big. The lyrics, the words flow so nicely. The chord progression is a very interesting progression. What I love about the progression is it has a lot of emotional tones to it. It's got some darkness and positivity at the same time, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we talk about that?
Yes. Well, it's what that inspires me to talk about is the art of putting the form and content in line with each other or juxtaposing each other, but making that an intentional decision when the lyrics and the melody and the harmonic structure and the emotion of the song are matching. You know what I mean? And that's something that I think about so much. I'll often put little Easter eggs in there for myself, where it'll be a kind of an inside joke for what chord or what chord extension I'm playing or something like that, you know? And in this one, yeah, it goes when, you get down to the thunder and the lightning, and it's that, which sounds like to me like thunder.
And I love it. It's like almost like there's a song by the Police called King of Pain, where it's the happiest song ever. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's like, oh my God, like it's terrible. Like it makes you sad. But this one's positive, but the music, like at sometimes has these very like thunderous, like you were saying, notes where it's very dun 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 when it hits like that, ba ba ba. And I love that bookend to the measure because it makes it really strong.
Thank you. I like that too. When you punch, you put it in there right at the end, that nice tagline that happens right
Dun,
there.
dun, dun. The segue, man. It's nice. It gives you that crash. It gives you, like you said, thunder. It's exactly what it is.
Exactly. And also it's that moment where you are interacting with the listener because you're giving a moment of quiet to digest the lyric or the phrase. It's something I learned in jazz improvisation. Don't just play and play and play and play and play. I violate that all the time. but ideally, I wouldn't just play and play and play. You play in phrases, so you give that silence following the phrase gives the listener a chance to absorb what they just heard and then go, oh, that was awesome, before just inundated with more stuff. And I find that I like to do the same thing lyrically. When I hit you with a very important lyric, I'm not going to run it right into the next sentence. Give you a minute to hear that sentiment,
to digest and breathe. And I think that's a great philosophy to songwriting, especially when you have a good like guitar riff and and have like that nice bass to it. That doom doom doom. I love that phrase in that song. I love the way it transitions and gives you a moment to, like you were saying, digest when they're all combined. it makes the listener like, it takes you in. So you need that like little moment to breathe. And I've done it the perfect time, Keaton. Like, I love that song, dude.
Thank you. See, that's to me like maybe the main reason why I love that song, like playing that song so much, is because every part of it happened so naturally. None of it was forced, and the content of the song is about exactly that. You know what I mean? It's kind of has this mathematical perfection to it, where it's like, yes, I'm saying exactly what I want to say. It's clear. It's not too encrypted. It's just, and it happened so quickly, which I absolutely love. That song just came right out. I probably wrote it top to bottom in 20 minutes or
It's
something.
amazing when it works that way, right?
Well,
You
yeah,
just get it in. Yep.
you never know what is going to do that and what isn't.
Whenever you get a first take in too, like as a drummer that's worked in studios and a musician myself and everything like that, whenever you get that first take off, like your first response, and it works, and you line up in the machine, and your timing was good, you're like, yay! Because it's usually they say in life, your first reaction is usually your passion, is your usual instinct.
Yeah.
And when you could pull it off in one, just like kind of sitting there listening, like we've talked about before, like musical meditation. Like a lot of times when I meditate, if I get sent a song, someone will send me something and I won't even play it. I'll just like meditate on it and be like, okay, here's the phrase 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a ba 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 ba, and then map it out in my head and then just roll. And it's like, wow. So whenever you could like, just pretty much, take one right to the system in the machine and record it, punch it, write it, that's always a great feeling. I'd like to ask you about one more you could share with us if you don't mind, brother.
Yeah, buddy, of course. I was thinking, let's do When I Go, because that one is such a fun story of both how I wrote it and how and the sentiment of it. I was stepping away from having put together a team. I can only hold myself responsible for any of this because it's me. But putting together a team that it just wasn't gelling, it wasn't fluid, and didn't lead to the type of success that I wanted with that particular part of my career and that section of my career. And so this song was kind of like, sometimes you got to just keep moving forward. And it's, in Beautiful Pain, I always say, don't be afraid of looking back because everybody has a past. It's okay to look at that, but don't be stuck in it. Make sure you're always moving forward. You can learn from your past as you are moving forward, without getting stuck there. And so When I Go, I'm never coming back, meaning, when you make the decision, which is sometimes difficult, to leave a situation or an environment that's toxic, there's always something or someone that wants to drag you back there. But if you know that it's better for you to just keep on going, then go for it, and so that's it. And then it got that amazing placement on Suits, and now has over 5.5 million plays on Spotify, and it grows and grows and grows. I mean, it has something like 700,000 Shazams. It's got 1 million on Apple Music. It's like got millions on YouTube too. It's so cool. It's by far and away my most successful in that realm, by that definition of success, song. And I have not done any of the traditional press or promo for it. I didn't, it taught me so much about just when you make something awesome that's real and has integrity and it gets the right attention, then it's not about all the stuff that you pull your hair out trying to go, what are we doing wrong? You're doing too much is what you're doing wrong. You're trying to do themselves. You know what I mean? Or if people are doing them, they're paying for them, and they're paying for them with more money than I have. So
exactly.
I can't.
So well said, brother. So well said.
Well, thank you. So here's a little When I Go for you. It's got that chug too. On the day that I almost lost my mind, I I was feeding this dirty habit of mine. I've been drunk on your lies. I was buried alive. I've been so blind. I was tempted by fate, and I've been till I break, but I'll be fine. 'Cause you know that when I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. No. On the day that I almost lost my soul, I was standing at the crossroads, but I didn't fold. We've been up, we've been down, but you pushed me around for the last time. It's a fight to the death, it'll take your last breath, but I'll be fine. 'Cause you know that when I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. Ooh, 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 never coming back. Ooh, ooh, never coming back. Ooh, 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 never coming back. Ooh, 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 yeah. Where I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. When I go time to go, I'm never coming back. No. Ooh, 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 never come back. Ooh, 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 never come back. Ooh, ooh, never come back. Ooh, ooh.
Yes, brother. I got a lot to say here, as always. First of all, when I listen to your music, I feel like I'm smiling the whole time. Makes me very happy.
Good, it should.
Lot of good energy, right? You play with a lot of rhythm. I keep going back to rhythm, and people are probably like, "Well, he's a drummer. It's obvious that the rhythm." But I love the jumps that you do at the end, like with the doom, like you're playing like a bass drum. You're playing the right hand like a bass drum.
Exactly what I. Yes, you're exactly right. That comes from years and years of performing solo and touring solo, and wanting to make without any technological tricks and things like that, to make it basically sound like there's a whole band up there.
Yeah, because you're filling out the rhythm. You're filling out the rhythmical aspect. And I could tell that in your playing that you certainly do it. So if you have to do it with a band, you could cover it. But if you have to do it by yourself, it's funny because you mentioned like people that use backing tracks. I'm out here in Vegas one time on Fremont Street when, before the pandemic happened and you could actually go outside without exploding or something, so we went to a show and there was a cover band out there. And they had a bass player backing track on like an Apple computer. And my buddy was so hammered. He's like, dude, this bass player is awesome. I'm like, where do you see a bass player here, bro?
Not missing a note. This guy plays perfectly every time, man.
He's like, this bass player's got it locked in. I'm like, there is no bass player. That's why he's locked in. But Keaton, I got to thank you for your time. I saw that I was doing some research about you and Brett.
Yeah.
You guys might be in Vegas April 30th.
Oh boy, this is you're finding this stuff out before me because
That's my job.
so much of it has to come down to the last minute because things are changing and regulations are happening.
Rapidly.
So
Yep.
it absolutely makes sense for me not to be told every time something gets on and then off and then on and off and then on. But
Dude, yeah.
because if I'm out there, I know how to social distance. I have gone this whole time without contracting the coronavirus. I'll thank you very much. Woohoo! And
Same here, yeah.
because I've been staying at home and washing my hands and wearing the mask when I go to places where I don't want to spread the stuff. The hand sanitizer is a beautiful thing.
Simple
Not being
concept,
afraid to get
guys.
tested, not being afraid to get tested, like that's the thing. Um, but it's great because anytime I do something, we've done a couple things with Brett, the Pepsi thing, the Red Rocks thing, all that kind of stuff, where they're really doing a great job of maintaining safety during this stuff and can still do some work. And it's great to get the test. For me, it's nothing. People are like, you're stabbing your brain and stuff. I mean, like. If I have something in my nose, I've gone deeper than that to get it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm
So-
telling you what, my girl had it done and she walked out of the office
It was
where they
horrible.
did it and she was fine. I'm like, did they not? I was like, they didn't test you, huh? She's like, no, they did. She's like, it's no big deal. I'm like, you're fucking, wow.
I've had it done multiple times, probably four or five times, and it's nothing to me. For me, I'm not saying
Yeah.
I hate when people make others feel invalidated, make their suffering feel
Sure.
invalid. A lot of time, I think that's where so much of the angry resistance comes from people going, stop telling me that my life is easy because it's not. Try walking a mile in my shoes. I think every person can understand. Nobody wants to be told you got it easy. You're just walking on sunshine. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their stuff. And so for me, that test is nothing. Thankfully, what that means
That's
for me.
great. Yeah.
I can't be the only one who's cool with it. So I'm sure there's plenty of people who are cool with it, and I feel sad for the people who aren't. But it is, for me, it's all good.
Absolutely, and it's all good over here on this end. And I'm glad everything is good with your family and yourself, and obviously with Brett and everything that you're doing out there. I cannot thank you enough, Keaton. Like, first of all, the songs. I mean, just on a personal level, they mean a lot to me. Not just for a show purpose. It's just like I love your singing. I love your songwriting, and like everything about you is very natural and genuine. Like I'm sitting there listening to you. I'm like, how does this guy do all this and fill that sound out with this beautiful voice and soulfulness? Because that's where my origins come from. My father was a big time, skillful blues and jazz musician. So for me, it's like when I hear your songs, I connect with them automatically because it takes me back to that point. That means a lot to me.
Thank you. Well, you mean a lot to me too, and your connection to the songs means a lot to me also. I create these works from the deepest personal place there is, and so that's the goal. The goal is to connect in one way. It's supposed to hit you in a way that's real. I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about me because that's all I have authority to really talk about with that kind of truth, but we are all connected in these ways. And the clearest, most direct way to universality, I think, is inward looking. We find the ways that we're all similar by really examining non-judgmentally ourselves.
I could not agree more. It's all about the soul, and it's all about mental stimulation and music, whether it comes from a positive place or a darker place or whatever. We've all been in all those places.
Mm-hmm.
And when you could cover all that area, all that geography, and then sometimes every once in a while you have a happy medium where you're in between all that. Music is life. It's reality, and it's energy. But what I love about music is that even though there can be dark songs about breakups, relationships that go, stray and all this type of stuff, loss, all that kind of, but it always has a place of inspiration, like your song was talking about. There's
Yeah,
always inspiration through music. Like I could listen to a song that, it has dark tones, but still get inspired by it somehow, you know?
absolutely. Yes, sure.
Yep. And that's the power and energy of music. And you certainly personify that power, my brother.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I love you, buddy.
I love you too, bro. Have a great show tonight, and I'll catch up with you soon, dude. This show will be up tomorrow.
Okay, great. Perfect.
I'll send you the link, brother.
Buddy,
Much
talk.
respect. Thank you, dude. This was awesome.
All right, peace.